As always, there are three categories being raced today: visually impaired, standing and sitting. Now the categories are based on the athletes' functional abilities, and you will see athletes with different impairments competing against each other in the same class, and this is made possible by a results calculation system based on a mathematical formula which was instigated by the athletes many years ago, which gives each class within the category a factor, and this is applied to the individual's time, and it gives a level playing field. It's important to point out that the time that you will see on your screens throughout all the races here today will be the factored or calculated time. Well, the weather conditions, the snow not as cold and as hard as yesterday. It's compact. The snow temperature, as you can see, just about freezing, but the air temperature, well, it's warm. It's at 6 degrees, and this is the course, the Super G course. The start a little lower than the downhill, starting just below the Russian trampoline. That's the ridgeline you can see there, with the gondola travelling above it. The downhill start was just above there, the Super G start just below it, and the athletes will pole out of the start gate onto an area of the run called Big Pan, which is a sort of flat area. Now the course setting, been up today and had a look at the course. I think it's a very, very tight and technical Super G, more along the lines of a GS than a Super G, maybe because of the speed some of the athletes were getting yesterday. The organisers have decided to just tighten things up, control the speed a little bit. Well, the first race we're going to see is the men's visually impaired Super G, and the gentleman starting at number 4. Jon Santacana won the downhill yesterday, coming back from Achilles injury. He is going to be the man to beat, but the Russian interest at number 9, Ivan Frantsev, whose sister races in the women's visually impaired category, will be looking to try and emulate his sister, who won a medal yesterday in the women's downhill. That's as we look down towards the village. You can see the Agitos on the side of the tower, but an almost perfect day for ski racing here today. And the conditions, well, as you can see, coming in towards spring. And the athletes going through their final checks before the start of this Super G. The speed events at the top end of the Alpine program. The downhill on day 1, the Super G on day 2. And that, as we look back up the course, this is the profile. The start just a little lower, 1460. The course distance 1800 meters. The downhill was just over 2k. As a result of them just dropping down through the Russian trampoline, and a number of crashes yesterday if you were with us on day 1, and I'm pleased to report that all those that didn't finish are okay. So we're almost set for the start of day 2 of competition. The course workers just ensuring that the line is as flat as possible, alternating red and blue gates, as you can see as we look down from the start across Big Pan. And the 2 technical areas on this course, just after Bears Brow and the late jump, we will see that with our first athlete, who will be Michael Beledic of Slovakia. And as always, the stands filling up nicely as the atmosphere builds ahead of the start of competition here at Rosa Kuta. So let's just take you through the categories in B1, or in the visually impaired, sorry. There are 3 categories being raced on this Super G: B1, B2 and B3. So the men's Super G the 2014 Winter Paralympics is about to get underway, and Michael Beledic of Slovakia will be the first athlete out of the gate, competing in the B2 class. Now, this class profile includes athletes that are unable to recognise the letter E from a distance of 4 metres, while athletes with a visual field of less than 10 degrees diameter are eligible for this sport as well. Now, you'll see he has a guide, and his guide's name is Philip Motika, and Philip has to stay within 1 gate of Beledic, otherwise they will be disqualified. And you can see he's talking his athlete all the way down, wearing a bright yellow top and an orange bib. And for the athlete in this category, it literally is just an orange dot that he is following. We'll have the best of the conditions in terms of the snow, and we have our first time check, 36.21. Now they're coming out of Big Pan, and this is the Bear's Brow, and you can see they come off it on one edge and have to go straight on to the left ski, and Beledic does well. That's the first really technical part of the course. They can go into the tuck position here, and here comes the second over the lake jump. So cool, as you'll see as we pan back, there's a lake. Look how tight it is on that gate, and Beledic just gets his line a little wrong, and he has to correct, and he does really well. Good recovery from Beledic. Good talking from Motika. Now, this is the deer jump, and they'll come into the finishing pitch. A couple of gates from home. Beledic looking to set the early time in this visually impaired category. And the time to beat 1:29.3 for Michael Beledic from Slovakia. Well done, good run. A really good recovery on that error on the terrain, on the direction. Next out the gates for Italy, Alessandro Daldos and his guide Luca Negrini. Daldos in his first Paralympics, 6th in the downhill yesterday, competing in the same class as Beledic before in the B2 class, so unable to recognise the letter E from a distance of 4 metres. And Daldos, though, has dialed into the track here. He's 4 seconds quicker than Beledic over that technical Bear's Brow. And he's a little wide in the line there, but gets back inside that blue control gate, into the tuck position, coming up to the lake jump. This is where Beledic got his line a little wrong. And Daldos does well. He was on the left ski early, 107 kilometers an hour through the gun. That's 66 miles an hour if you deal in those speed units. Negrini just slow ploughing, just trying to stop himself from going too far in front, and Daldos gets it a little wrong off the lake jump, and you can see he's really late in the line, and Daldos is down within sight of the finish. He was going ever so well, just got his line wrong off the deer jump within sight of the finish. Concern on the faces of those in the finish area. Not that concerned that they can't wave at the TV cameras, though. I think Daldos should be okay. He was fighting to get the line back after he came off the jump. And he's okay, he's moving. That's what we like to see. And what a shame for Daldos. He was going really well, the 23-year-old. Well, our gate judge there had the yellow flag out a lot yesterday, and it's only taken 2 races for him to get it out once again. I hope he's brought his snacks with him. On day 1 he was in all sorts of trouble, overrun by about an hour because of all the crashes. This is Daldos, and he was fighting, and his skis just got too close together. Got caught on the inside ski, and there was no way back for him there. Disappointment for the Italian coaches. Carlos, they're only athletes in the visually impaired classification. Some of the later skiers warming up. Japan had a great day on day one. And the men winning the sitting downhill. The Canadian and Austrian coaches just having a little chat. And next up we've got Jakub Krakow of Slovakia. He is one of the favourites for this second in Vancouver, fourth in the downhill yesterday. He carried the flag for Slovakia at the opening ceremony. Can he repeat or go one better than his performance of 4 years ago? B2 in the B2 class. And his guide, just doing a little warm-up, is Martin Motika, brother of Philip, who's the guide for Michael Beledic. So good to see Alessandro Daldos on his feet. And hopefully he will be back later in the competition to compete in the other disciplines. A deep breath for Jakub Krakow. Won 3 of the races in the visually impaired category in Vancouver. Let's see if we can combine them with 2 technical disciplines of slalom and giant slalom now. What can he do here? He would have been disappointed with 4th yesterday. And he started well. Now Beledic's compatriot leads the way at the moment, but his first split time was well beaten by Daldos in the first and second intermediate, but he didn't finish the Italian. Now, what is Krakow? Well, he's 3.88, the right side of the clock. Oh, that's really good. Anticipated the jump well, got into that crouch position, squashed it, didn't get too far off the racing line, and there's a good connection between guide and athlete here. They've kept almost the same distance all the way down, and again he gets onto his haunches to squash the late jump, and he should be in. He is in. 6.5 seconds inside, but he's a lot slower than Daldos. Daldos would have set a really competitive time if he'd managed to negotiate the finishing pitch, but it's ifs and buts, he didn't, and as a result there's an opportunity for Krakow here. Really difficult technical turns inside of the finish. 129.3 is going to be beaten. Oh, it's smashed. 8.72 seconds for Jakub Krakow and Martin Motika. There, how competitive will that be? We'll know soon enough, because the next man down will be the downhill champion, and here he is, Jon Santacana, and his guide Miguel Galindo. Now Santacana on day one in the downhill was behind intermediate 1 and intermediate 2, but found an awful lot of speed in that finishing. Oh, just gets twisted, but gets it back under control. As I say, he found an awful lot of speed on that finishing pitch to snatch the victory. How's he going at the first intermediate? 32.32, and he's outside. He's outside by 1.34. I'm not sure even Santacana can reel this one back in. He's recovering from a torn Achilles tendon, which he did in September last year. Got back to racing in January, didn't harm him too much with his downhill, but he is the world champion from last year in La Molina on home snow, and at the second time check, Krakow's time has stood the test. Whoa, Santa Cana really travelling, and the guy having to speed up and having slowed down, he was in a lot of trouble there. It's okay for the skier to overtake the guy, but really you only want to be doing that at the finish. Santa Cana, like Daldo, struggling on that final pitch, and he finishes second, 1.69 off the pace, and well, for all the mistakes you thought the gap would be a lot bigger. But Santa Cana, with some incredible recoveries, gets to the bottom of the piece in one piece, and my second for the time being. Awfully close at one stage to his guide. Well, that was a struggle. Now, this is Marek Kubaka, and he is skiing in B1, so he cannot see anything. His goggles are totally blacked out. That is the rule. I mean, lots of conversation between guide and skier. And Kubaka doing a fantastic job here. The guide who's talking him down is Natalia Karpisova, and Kubaka just 0.92 off the pace of his compatriot Jakub Krakow. Now these athletes, oh no, he's gone down. Kubaka has gone down. Now he can get back up. He's okay. Concern on the faces of those in the crowd again, but let me just try and explain. Without his goggles, he cannot recognize the letter E, which is 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters from a distance of 25 centimeters. And he was going really quite well, under a second off the pace, but sadly for him, couldn't quite deal with the technical aspect of coming over Bear's Brow, and skis out. He's the only skier skiing in the B1 class in this category. And Kubaka sadly registers at a DNF by his name. Slovakia 1 and 3. This is the end of Kubaka. Just got the direction wrong off the Bear's Brow. So we have another pause in proceedings. The course has been set by Kevin Jardine, who is member of the IPC. There's Ivan Frantsev, the Russian athlete. Mac McCoo.
You never had time to do a warm-up.
And
what's going on?
His guide, who is Robin Femi, and just getting Marek Kubaka off the course. Next to go, Miroslav Hadas of Slovakia. Each nation allow 5 athletes per classification, per race. Off he goes. His guide is Malos Hudik. And Halos second in the downhill on day one. Third in the Super G and the Super Combined in Vancouver. He's hoping to get near the top step of the podium, or onto the top step of the podium here in Sochi. Well, that error might have cost him. Let's see what he is at the first time split, 32.32. Wow, just 0.28 off the pace. Now, Halos has a real opportunity here. Coming up to the Bear's Brow. Oh, what a recovery! Unbelievable stuff from Halos. He was in the back seat. Somehow he managed to stay on his skis. What incredible core strength from the Slovakian skier. Now, oh no, this time he's out and he's into the netting. And Halos collects a large percentage of the A netting. Got it wrong off the late jump. And disappointment for his supporters. Slovakia still top of the pile. Ivan Frantsev has two more races to go before it's his turn. Last minute touches being done to the skis at the top of the piece. Slovakia have 5 athletes in this category. 4 have been. One remains Vladimir Dudas. Well, they pause in proceedings because of the fall of Miroslav Halos. No repeat of the silver medal of yesterday. That's where we stand at the moment. Jakub Krakow leads the way from Jon Santakana with Michael Beledic third, and the other 3 of our 6 racers have DNF'd. Well, good to see Halos back on his skis. So the next man out the hut will be Mark Batham of the United States, the winner of the only 2 Super Gs, or sorry, 2 of the 3 Super Gs this year. You can see the officials working quickly, as quickly as they can, to repair the netting. And right-hand side of the bear's brow. Very disappointed Miroslav Hadaus. I think he needs to be given some space and time to come to terms with his disappointment. He was 0.28 off the pace of Krakow. Number 16, well, that's Kakuta Koike. He's the first skier in the men's Super G standing category. And those are the supporters of the Austrian skier Markus Salcic, who won gold in the downhill on day one. Spain with just the one athlete in the visually impaired Super G, Santa Cana, who's currently second, but there's another good crowd in the finish area on day two of competition of this Alpine program at the 2014 Sochi Winter Paralympic Games. The American supporters sit and wait for their man, Mark Batham, who, as I say, is next out of the start hut once the netting has been repaired. After the crash of this map, Miroslav Hadaus, still working on it. It's a very difficult part of the track to get to. As he picks up a hand injury. Sure, that will be checked a little later on. The dedication of these athletes, no different from that of able bodies. They put in the time, they put in the hours. The disappointment of not achieving the goals you set yourself clear on the face of Miroslav Hadaus, especially after the silver on day one. That's incredible bravery, travelling at 60-65 miles per hour. And now the adrenaline has worn off, the hand is starting to hurt that little bit more. I think that will need to be checked. First Australian athlete we'll see here on day two will be Toby Kane in the men's Super G standing category.
The next racer is incredible. He's the older racer
You can see course workers some difficulty in repairing that netting just because of how high it's got to go now. Hopefully they'll get that A netting back up as quickly as possible, and Mark Batham can get his challenge underway. Very difficult for the athletes at the top of the piste who are waiting to put down their challenge. And psyched up, ready to go, and suddenly paused in competition, and they've got to wind down and then wind back up again. He slopes on Rosa Kuta, mainly north facing, hence why they haven't been quite as badly affected as the slopes you can see on the far side of the valley, which are pretty high up. Nevertheless, it's pretty warm, and this delay also doesn't help conditions because it literally is getting warmer by the minute up here. You can feel the temperature warming up, and that will mean the course will deteriorate ever so slowly. Plenty of snowmaking machines up here, but the weather's been too warm to use them. Water comes from the reservoir just by the lake jump. It's a fantastic ski area here in Rosa Kuta. More Spanish interest in this race. Well, the course workers have done a fantastic job. Hopefully we won't be needing that. Had to be called in yesterday on day one of competition. German supporters in the crowd. They have athletes. There is Nada Kubaka, who's made it down. German supporters waiting for the sitting category. Their athletes are competing.
Переходим к результатам соревнований женщин.
Josep Ferrer, the guide for this man here, Gabriel Juan.
Pues això, li preguntaré. Però a mi em semblava, quan les seves xerrades i tal, ho deia.
Second, no, the last, sorry, of the Slovakian skiers, Vladimir Dudas. So we're ready to go again, and this is Mark Batham with Cade Yamamoto, his guide. Fourth in Vancouver, seventh in the World Championships, fifth in the downhill on day one. Yamamoto in a bright yellow suit to help Batham. He's off and skiing across Big Pan, these tight alternating blue and red gates. And winner of 2 of the 3 Super Gs on the World Cup this season in Panorama. In January. Batham skiing in the B2 category, the B2 class, should I say, within the visually impaired category. And at the first time, check we have from Krakow, our leader, 32.32. And Batham outside by just over a second. Now, can Batham get it right over the steer jump? Oh, yes he can. Run a little wide, but he'll take that. And Yamamoto continuing to speak now. This is the roll. Now, has he gone through that gate? Now, did Batham go through that gate? He certainly clattered it, but he's inside now, and they're travelling at 103 kilometres an hour, just over 64 miles per hour. Batham, winner of the last Super G before these games. Oh, that's a brilliant turn, brilliant turns. Batham, surely going to take the lead away, is he? No, he's outside, 1300ths the wrong side of the clock. I thought he skied that bottom pitch really, really well, but he can't get inside the time of Jakub Krakow. I'd be really intrigued to see a replay of the blue gate that he skied through. I'm sure the jury will have a look at that, but Batham's time stands now. Marc Marcoux of Canada, racing in the B3 class, and this describes the least severe visual impairment eligible for Alpine skiing. Athletes who have a restricted visual field of less than 40 degrees diameter or a low visual acuity. And Marco, 3/4 of a second off the pace of Krakow, over the Baird's Brow. Robin Femi, his guide, talking all the way down. Yeah, good over the late jump from Marcoux. And he's 6/10 the wrong side, 108 clicks on the clock, 67 mph. Coming up to the last terrain change, the deer jump. Hard on that left ski, tucks him for the line, Marcoux. Oh, 1900ths, it's tight at the top. Krakow leads the way, 1:20.58. Batham, the United States, second, 0.13 off the pace. Marcoux third, 6/100ths of a second slower than Batham. Now Ivan Frantsev of Russia, his guide, Herman Agronovsky, into the challenge. Frantsev, who won his first major medals at the Worlds last year, first in slalom, third in super combined. He's fourth in this discipline. His sister won a silver on day one of these games. How's Frantsev going at the first time check? Well, he's 1.5 seconds off the pace of Jakub Krakow. Lots of chat from guide to athlete. Agronovsky wanting his athlete to tuck it in. Now, how will he fare over the late jump? Frantsev, yeah, right direction, good stuff. Krakow's next time 59.75, but sadly for Frantsev, he's over 4 seconds off the pace. Not going to be his day today, I think. You can hear the hard nature of the snow. 1:20.58 comes, goes, and goes by 5.42 seconds. 1:26 dead for Frantsev. And Frantsev enjoying the experience as he is welcomed by a raucous crowd in the finish. Now, next out of the podium, out of the start gate, well, it was supposed to be Hugo Thomas of Switzerland, but the bronze medalist from the Super G at the World Championships last year is a non-starter, so we have Maciej Krzel of Poland. This is his first speed event at the Paralympics, having raced technical in Vancouver. And how's he faring here? Well, he's 2.83 off the pace. His guide is Anna Olgazinska. Prezel trying to ski down the time of Krakow. Through that gate though. Got his hands up to punch it out the way. And 105 on the gun, 65 miles per hour. Krakow time, I'm not sure it's going to be beaten while it's come and gone, so Prezel 8.72 the distance between first and seventh, and Prezel goes into 6th spot. Concentration on the face of Prezel. Hard on that left ski. And make it around the red control gate. Now, next out of the hut, Valery Redkozubov, and his guide is Evgeny Garovov. Kuzubov usually races the technical disciplines of giant slalom and slalom. This is his first Super G in the Paras. He did race Super G on the World Cup earlier in the season in Mount Hutton, New Zealand. That was back in August, and came 4th. Garovov shouting out his instructions. Second off the pace at the first time check. How will he be at the second over the late jump? And going to be 2.85 off the pace of Jakub Krakow. So Kuzubov skiing the B2 category. That's the predominant category in this classification. The time of Krakow is going to stand up here, and 6 seconds off the pace goes 6th, and just behind his compatriot Ivan Frantsev. So the two Russians 5th and 6th, separated by 2/3 of a second exactly. Gabriel Juan Gorskipa and Josep Arno Ferrer Ventura are next out of the hut. And this realistically the last skier who can upset the podium in terms of world rankings. And how is the Spanish athlete going here in this Super G? The top turns look okay, but he's not as quick as our leader Krakow. He's 2 seconds off the pace. And if Krakow can see off this challenge, he will be guaranteed a medal. Oh, just getting a little off the racing line. The blue die that you see on the side of the piece is just as a guide. It's not anything that the skiers have to stick to. They can ski outside it, they won't be disqualified, they just have to make the gates. And it's a gate, and that is it. And 2.47, and he was losing control, and he's out. Disappointment for Gabriel Juan Gorskipa. 2 seconds off the pace. The podium really quite tight, just 1900 separating first and third, and then 1.5 seconds between third and fourth, but you can see he lost control a little earlier. And there's his pole back. The yellow flag is out again. The marshal bought his munchies today. was an apple yesterday. Looks like it could be an apple again today. So there's our 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Jakub Krakow, Slovakia, leads the way at a time of 1:20.58. Mark Batham of the United States second. And Mac Marcoux is third. Marcoux picked up a bronze in the downhill on day one. Looks like he's going to have a bronze on day two as well. Radomir Dudas and Michael Servin of Slovakia. The penultimate skier out of the gate on this visually impaired category, B2 class. The second lowest ranked skier in the field. So I think Jakub Krakow's time and Batham and Marcoux's time could be safe, but you never know. Dudas and his guide Servin, what can they achieve here? .32 comes and goes. Dudas, wrong side of the clock. He's the wrong side of the clock by over 4 seconds. But Batham will be guaranteed a medal. With just one to come. Dudas gets it right off there. He's a medalist from the Salt Lake City and Turin Paralympics is Radomir Dudas. Second in Super G in Turin. It's 8th in Vancouver. 10th in the downhill yesterday on day one. 92.5 through the gun, 7.78 off the pace. So Beledic of Slovakia is currently in 8th. And he get inside his compatriot into the final pitch, into what is known as deer jump or over deer jump. A couple of gates from home. Servin brings his athlete over the line in a time of 1:31.51, goes 9th. Radomir Dudas down in one piece. And the Slovakians are happy. So our final skier in the visually impaired men's Super G is from the Czech Republic, Patrick Hetma and his guide Miroslav Makala in the B2 class, the lowest ranked skier in the field. And the next red gate is the time check. The Krakow and Batham are guaranteed medals, and I'll suggest that Marcoux is now guaranteed his bronze, his second bronze of the games in 2 days of competition. Yeah, good over the bear's brow, sorry, by Hetma. Now as he comes down towards the lake jump, this technical discipline. He's on the left ski, yeah, good stuff. And he sets up nice and high and early, and you can see he's getting faster and faster and faster, and he's down. He's out, and he's taken out the gate as well. He was so high on the line, he got such a lot of speed, and he's taken a real bang to the face off that control gate. Hopefully he's okay. Well, he's up. It's okay to continue, that's good to see, but his line over the lake jump was a good line, but it meant that he was very, very high and got a lot of speed and just couldn't control the speed, and that's what did him. Here we go, you can see, just can't bring himself back up, and fortunately actually the blow was to the ribs and not to the face. Those control gates pretty painful. So Patrick Hetmer and Miroslav Makala, unfortunately for them, do not finish the men's Super G, the visually impaired category. And there are our medalists. Congratulations to them. Jakub Krakow of Slovakia takes the gold medal. Mark Batham of the United States is second, and Mac Marcoux of Canada is second bronze in 2 days of competition at the Alpine. A fascinating race. Confirmation. Jakub Krakow, Slovakia, wins Slovakia's a gold medal, 120.58. Mark Batham of the United States second, 120.71. Mac Marcoux just 6/100ths of a second slower than Batham in third for Canada. Congratulations to them, and 5 non-finishers. What a great race we've had for the men's Super G visually impaired.